Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from, and welcome to the Superchain Fun show. We're live. It's Thursday. We're here to talk about exciting and fun things that are being built on the Superchain. And I am so excited to welcome back Pan. Pan is CEO, founder, the brains behind GameSwift, which is disrupting on-chain gaming. And we had Pan on a couple of weeks back, and we're excited to see what's up and what's been happening in the last few weeks. Which Pan, you have some exciting news, but I would love to just kind of take a quick temperature test. How have the last few weeks been?
Oh, it was. Although like the overall crypto market was a little bit bearish. Let's be honest with each other. There is a probably local peak of disbelief in the crypto market right now. However, from the business point of view, I think it was very good time. I think we are closer and closer to onboard for this super chain, the RWA protocol, which is going to provide basically the biggest stable yield on stable coins in the whole crypto environment right now, which might be very bullish for not only for GameSwift but also for the whole super chain, because this crypto game between different blockchains and ecosystem is all about users and TVL. So having like the pipeline with the capital, which is providing as a stable, biggest yield for your stable coins, that's a big deal. That's what I've been working for the last couple of weeks. And I think once it's going to be announced, I'm going to ask for a favor to be one more time invited for your podcast, because that's something that I will be very eager to announce. Another thing that I was working on is to onboard and one of the biggest TV series. I cannot reveal the name, but which is
I know who
basically,
it is, and I'm not telling anybody either. But it's very exciting. It's a big deal.
yeah, it's
One
a
of
big deal. They
probably
are
one
they
of
are
the biggest IPs.
exactly, yeah. And that's let's say one step closer to be executed. Of course, that's the deal of the size, which basically on at any possible moment could be dropped, because that's a very big brand. We are going through a very careful due diligence process, but it is also the ongoing and very optimistic process. So yeah, it's been a lot, Rachel, and we keep building.
It's amazing. I would love for you to just go back a second. And we were talking about kind of the bearish market that we're seeing right now. And I think one of the things that is wonderful about building in the superchain ecosystem is that it doesn't matter, right? Everybody I talk to, everybody who is like, building anything, whether it's L2 or they're building, with the OP stack in general, they don't care. They're like, my head's down. I'm building. I'm thinking about long-term vision. I am not looking at the market prices. Are you that kind of founder, or are you kind of got your eyes in both places?
Yeah, I'm in the same position, but I would say that still there are a lot of funders who are a little bit afraid of this moment. And I think the difference is whether you have already raised your funding or not. Because if you already did, like we do, then you are secured and you can focus on development. But if not, then let's be honest with each other, it is a tough moment. Even though that we are in kind of bull market, VCs are not that eager to invest. So a lot of friends of mine, which are like in the development plus fundraising process, they are a little bit afraid right now.
Mm. Well, talk to us about kind of next steps. When we spoke last, we got kind of a bird's eye view of what your vision and mission is for GameSwift. What are you thinking in terms of partnerships? Like, who are you looking at right now? Have you got any exciting news, perhaps, that you could share about a new partnership?
Yeah, so our mission is to make our GameSwift super chain the superior roll up for the whole Optimus ecosystem for gaming and AI. That's our mission, and I think we are very close to make this vision happen. But at the same time, and it's worth to underline that we are not limiting only to gaming and AI projects. We are basically focusing on the projects which are able to bring as much value as possible. That's why I mentioned at the very beginning of our interview that we are in the very very mature process of onboarding a very big RWA protocol, because the biggest and the most important challenge is to onboard users and the TVL. Gaming definitely is the opportunity to onboard users, but not necessarily in case of TVL. That's why we need to have diversification for example, for RWA. So yeah, that's our mission. We started as a gaming optimized infrastructure and chain. We have successfully delivered our Steam oriented launcher for Web3 games, which is which and what is in the process is the AI integration, which is going to allow to share the computing power of your PC for the sake of machine learning and AI. Uh, since it's going to be delivered, this will be the first gaming launcher ever to have this kind of utility, to not only allow you to play computer games, but also to utilize your PC while you are not playing. So that's a big deal. But our time is limited. We are basically creating the big home for the variety, for the plethora of different projects. So probably our efforts are shifting from our own development into the favor of onboarding new amazing developers and founders into the space.
So you did just announce a partnership with Atia. I think I'm pronouncing that right, hopefully. Talk to us about how this came about and what makes them an ideal partner for GameSwift.
The first important thing is that we are, like I said, the ambition to become the superior roll up for gaming and AI within OP Stack. And 8-year seems like is a perfect fit for our plans. They are focusing on gaming and on AI, which is a perfect match to our gaming launcher. So first of all, they work on decentralized cloud infrastructure. They want to lower the latency. They want to solve connection problems, and they are having supply of over 80,000 top shelf GPUs. With additional fleet of NVIDIA processors. So this is like the cloud infrastructure, which is specializing in AI and gaming. And I think that what we share is we both believe in the decentralized GPU cloud, that the decentralization of the process of gathering the computing power is something which will be very important for the market. Our thesis is that computing power will become kind of the digital petrol, which is going to be necessary for the new machine learning calculations, and that we will run out of this computing power very, very soon. So those who are going to generate this computing power, those who are going to control it, they are on a winning spree. And we are here to work with 8-year to make this vision happen. We are building our own gaming launcher, which is going to allow the gamers to share their computing power. And since there are millions of computers worldwide, our plan is to build the biggest bank of decentralized computing power in the world. And having partners like 8-year is a perfect way to make this vision happen.
How do you think Atia's decentralized cloud facilitates that kind of gaming access? What impact do you think it will have on the gaming experience within the GameSwift ecosystem?
So yeah, obviously, I think that cloud gaming is a big narrative to be played in the future, as not everyone is able to build and to buy the very powerful PC, which is required to play AAA games. We believe that the future is to have only your monitor and the fast internet connections. Once you have it, then you can use like the GPU cloud services like Aether, which are going to enhance your gaming experience. That's something which is my bet, and I think that's what Aether can deliver, since they have a very powerful GPU and NVIDIA processors. They will support GameSwift in our ambitious roadmap for the blockchain and AI gaming. So 18 probably can facilitate kind of instant gaming experience and the mass onboarding of the users worldwide. So it doesn't matter whether your game is MMORPG or first person shooter. Having 18 on board, having their cloud services, this will like ensure the high performance and the reliability. So that's how I see this partnership to be executed.
So since we last spoke, your testnet campaign went live on OP. Talk to us how that process has been going.
Oh yes, it's going really well. We have crossed like 80,000 different users battle testing our blockchain, and we are not incentivizing them. So we are still like a step ahead of the big campaign, where users will be incentivized to do their tasks.
That's a
So
huge number. How are you driving such volume without incentives? That's amazing.
uh, I believe that we are in the very specific moment where the fundamentals are the most important one. There was a lot of buzz, a lot of noise in the crypto sphere for the last couple of months, and there is a massive inflation of new projects coming to the exchanges, a lot of new listings, a lot of new KOLs. But now, in my opinion, it is the community factor which is the most important. And the good thing is that we've been building our community for 3 years. We started on a Terra, building the biggest gamified launchpad there. Then after the Terra collapse, we pivoted into the GameSwift. We provided our community with a very generous airdrop, which was a perfect opportunity for not only our comeback, but also for their financial comeback. So this created a very specific bond, a very specific relationship between us, between the community. But this is a long process. Only on Terra, once we've been operating as a gamified launchpad, we had the base of 50,000 KYC users there. That was the first launchpad on Terra to have the KYC verification. So 50,000 different people scanned their faces, their IDs, and that was the foundation for which we moved into the games once we pivoted.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge, and that was one of the reasons why we've been so competitive. And within 6 months of our launchpad operations, we raised more than $30 million for 10 different projects, having this kind of the real user base. So yeah, now we are working in a different environment, but the conversion of the user base is since it's very decent, we are able to generate the numbers. So that's why a lot of projects, I'm going to give you like a very small, a very simple example. That's why a lot of projects are asking for our incubation, because they let's say value our expertise, how to let's say provide a good listing experience, a good go-to-market strategy, but also the community building process. And they seek for our incubation. The deal is pretty simple, that they offer us with their airdrop while we promote those projects across our community, and we try to bring them into our ecosystem. And for example, Doggin Hood, this is like a Robin Hood game based meme coin, but it's not a meme coin without the real product. They have a Telegram game, which is a tap game, and they recently crossed 500,000 gamers on their platform while being incubated on GameSwift. So we've been the first, let's say, incentive, the first mover, which helped them to onboard this user base, and since then they are doing really really well. So I think that's one of the examples which come to my mind.
What you, given that you've incubated quite a few folks and seen a lot of ROI for those individuals, is there anything that kind of stands out about what they have in common? Those that really fly, those that really become sticky for users that you're seeing?
But do you mean some exact protocol, or
Not
especially?
necessarily, just kind of the what it is about perhaps the teams and the approaches that you're seeing.
Okay, so their approaches are very very different. Like I believe that the founders in the crypto space, uh, they could be they consist of two different approaches. The first one is the, let's be honest with each other, cash oriented incentives. So a lot of them, they want to have a Lambo, right? And let's be honest with each other, it is the motivation of most of the people founders building their protocols. But luckily, there is still, I think, at least 20% of the founders that I met, which want to basically deliver some value, which want to have fun while building their protocols on in the crypto space. And obviously, they also have the financial motivation in their mind, but it is not in the first place. And these are the founders that we usually prefer to work with, because thanks to this, they are they are not relying their business decision only on financial factors. They thanks to this, they are making smarter decisions. So yeah, that's my first observation. Another one is that this is a very competitive market. It's harder and harder to become the crypto founder. When I started 3 years ago with Starterra and gamified launchpad on Terra, it was hard, but in my opinion, much easier. Right now, every single day, there are like more than 100,000 different tokens to be minted every single day. Obviously, there is more funding than in the previous market cycle, but still the competition is much more tougher, and it's very hard to stand out. You might have a very good product, you might have a very good team, but still struggle to stand out from your competition. I think that's the biggest challenge, and this is the market environment which is supporting founders and the teams like ours, because we started earlier. We built this traction and the trust in 2021, and now we can spread it and support the new wave of projects seeking for that advice. To be honest, like 3 years ago, we've been like a very successful project. We crossed $120 million market cap. Our FDV was somewhere around $1 billion with, I mean, the STT token. But at that time, of course, there was some kind of interest of the projects asking for advisory, but they were like very confident that, you might help us, but we don't need it, right? Now they are like, in many cases, in a desperate need of this support of advisor, because in another way, the competition is very big.
It's exciting though. It's thrilling, and I'm curious to know what is your short term and long term vision for GameSwift. Anything that you've observed since joining the Superchain? Anything that's exciting to you? Kind of where are you looking over the next 5 years?
I learned to be very careful while answering the questions of what is my vision for the next 5 years, because I live too much in the crypto, right?
And people steal stuff.
Yeah, the prediction that for the future is tough. If you ask me this question like 3 years ago, I would answer that, yeah, obviously you want to be the superior gamified launchpad in the space, having like 200,000 users, scale for the mainstream. But since then, a lot of changed, and our plans also changed. Uh, first thing which I can declare with full honesty, that we are going to be very flexible, that we are going to adjust to the rapidly changing market conditions. When you are a crypto founder, you need to be like chameleon. You know what I mean? You need to adjust because the meta is changing, the trends are changing. So you need to have this long-term vision in your mind, and we do. Our vision is to make Games with Launcher the superior computing bank for the AI and machine learning operations. That's our mission. We want to be the biggest decentralized owner of this computing power. But on the road to this very ambitious, let's say, roadmap, we are going to be very flexible. We are going to catch the proper narratives, because this is what crypto game is all about. That's why a lot of projects are pivoting and trying to catch the wave, because it's really hard to stand out of the crowd. So what I can promise is that we are the people who proved that we are capable of doing great things, of achieving success, of delivering our token, of delivering our product. But we also went through the crisis. We were able to successfully come back from the big collapse, and that's the most important thing. So we are capable of adjusting to the rapidly changing conditions, and that's the declaration which I am 100% sure of.
That's one thing that I will say about the successful crypto founders that I get to meet is grit and agility seem to be the two biggest strengths that they possess. Either that or a little bit of insanity as well, to be able to deal with what we deal with here on a daily basis.
Oh yes, you need to be a little bit insane to be in the crypto space, because, like, I'm having my 3 years alter right behind my doors, and when I explain to them that I am supporting some, Telegram meme coins with like dog in hood motive, she thinks that I am crazy. So it's a very insane territory. But this is the place, and this is what I like about the crypto, that it is inviting new sectors of the business, like energy sector, like AI. So whatever is new into the technology, it is very quickly adapted by the blockchain technology. So I feel that we are in a very good environment where we will be able to catch new trends. That's why, for example, I've been aware of AI trend right before, like, this whole NVIDIA and ChatGPT stuff went on the highlights and on the front page of the newspapers, because we've been in crypto. We already knew Fetch AI and the other projects. So that's a very important thing to remember.
So I have a couple more questions. One of them is, how important is user feedback? Like, on a daily basis, like, how often are you and your team kind of in the weeds with folks that are using GameSwift?
Yes, so obviously user feedback is very important for us. We try to gather this on a regular basis. That's why we are also try to be very transparent. So we are not only relying on our community managers and moderators, but we also do our weekly town halls on YouTube, where we ask and go through every single question, because I want to make sure that if something is wrong, if somebody is not happy, then I'm sure that he will write it down in the chat section. And I am not skipping those difficult questions, because in the other way, I would stay in a comfort zone, and I don't like staying in comfort zone. So we try to keep adjusting and improving our infrastructure. That's why 3 months ago, our launcher went through a major graphic update, and it will be constantly updated, since we want to provide the best possible user experience.
The other question I have, and I think it's something that all of us as founders working in this space have to deal with, is like regulation. I'm based in the US, particularly challenging conversations around regulation. I don't know where in the world you are. Last time I spoke to you, you were in Portugal, but it is something that we grapple with as an industry. Like, how do you see this playing out? Is it something that you is a part of your struggle? Do you feel optimistic about kind of where we're going?
It's very tough for me because before I went into the crypto, you might remember I was working as the judge in a court, and like the legal aspects of the business was also a very important point for me, and it was kind of the culture shock when I entered into the crypto space. I remember back in 2021 when I asked for the advisory and for the support of the legal attorneys, and I knew a lot of them. They were kind of that they thought that I am crazy, that I want to get into the crypto space because there are no regulations here. There's no certainty. There's almost nothing that they can say for sure that will provide me with safety. This is a very dangerous territory. Maybe due to the fact that I have this legal background, I feel a little bit more confident. But still, a lot of funders that I met, they skipped or they exited due to this uncertainty. And when I think about it, it is something which is blocking our development. I'm based in Europe. The last time I was connecting with you from Portugal. Today I am in Poland, but basically I am based in Europe. And I think the good thing for European market is that the MiCA is coming. And although it's tough, although it's challenging, at least we know what to prepare for. The problem is that some local jurisdiction, for example, here in Poland, our fiscal authorities have some portion of freedom in implementation of MiCA, so they can basically make it harder and they can make it more tough than the European Commission primarily planned for. And that's why there is still some portion of uncertainty. It's still not the case that after introducing MiCA, everything is clear as never. It is not. However, the level of legal certainty is a little bit increased, and in the US, it's a disaster.
You said
I
it.
yeah, like I cannot imagine being entrepreneur in US right now when you have this like and I liked it, the last time I think 2 weeks ago I watched the interview on All In podcast with Donald Trump, and they've been pushing him so much that whether he can declare that new crypto regulations will come, and it looks like he declared for this. And I'm happy that these crypto regulations become part of the political agenda in US. It's not whether you are like in the Biden or Trump camp. It doesn't really matter. Now we are in the situation where both of them are, let's say, declaring some portion of legal regulations, and that's the promising thing, because till then nobody wanted to touch this. Maybe thanks to this, let's be honest, crypto developed so rapidly, because if regulations are imposed too quickly, then the whole bunch of protocols like Uniswap, they would probably never appeared, right? So from one perspective, it is good. This helped this industry to rapidly grow somewhere under the radar. But now I think we are so mature that we need and we seek for more regulation.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that the Stand with Crypto initiative that we've seen over the last couple of weeks, like the amount of visibility that campaign has got, it's really forcing the hand of a lot of politicians that are running for election now in the US to actually come out and have a statement. And if you're very quiet and you're not commenting on it, the question is being posed, well, why? Why are you not leading into this? And there's a huge 40% of Americans have crypto wallets. So at this point, you have to have this conversation. So I think it's very exciting. I think hats off to you for being a founder in this climate. I think you're doing a
I hope that I will not go to Guantanamo,
Nobody wants to go there. Nope. All right. Last final thoughts. Anything that you want to leave us with? Anything exciting folks can look out for with the next couple of weeks before we get you back on the show?
So I hope that for the next time that I will be back on the show, we will be after successful mainnet campaign, because this is like the most important part of the roadmap that we are preparing ourselves for. Right now, we are battle testing our chain. We are receiving very positive feedback, and it looks like that we are like almost ready for the mainnet. Let's hope that the overall crypto market sentiment will improve, because we don't want to start in the sentiment like this, but looks like this will be subject to change, and probably that the next big thing that you can wish me is to successfully onboard this TV series and RWA protocol, because that's something that I'm working really hard on. Although, being totally honest, I'm working too long to say that we will be delivering this for obvious. There's also some portion of uncertainty, but I can declare that we are doing our most to make it happen. So yeah, that's what we are working on, and let's make it happen.
I love it. Always a pleasure to chat with you, Pan, and looking forward to circling back with you in a couple of weeks. Folks, go check out GameSwift. I'm going to drop some links below this video. Join the Discord, get involved, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.